Musket's Reenactment of Battle of Waterloo, June 18th, 1815, June 19th, 2011. Video recorded and edited by Corporal Bauer on the 1st East Prussian Infantry Battalion. Battle of Waterloo is not only a conflict of historical importance because of its far-reaching political consequences, but the romantic climax ended up with Imperial France and Napoleon Bonaparte himself, who descended into obscurity after being exiled a second and final time. Napoleon himself falsely believed that his years of victory were long over, but the strategic brilliance behind his plans for the Waterloo campaign proves him wrong in the sense that he won the campaign, even Waterloo itself, in the theoretical realm, despite his defeat in reality. His strategy was so bold that neither Wellington nor Blucher had even foreseen the possibility of a French offensive. The French army was simply too small and too weak, as far as they were concerned. They had ignored impetuously the fact that Napoleon exploited any weakness in the enemy's strategy, always with devastating results. They had forgotten Austerlitz. They did the thing which Napoleon wanted most. They had separated their armies, spread them out, along 100 miles of the river Sambre. Napoleon acted upon this weakness and attacked with the concentrated force of his whole army with the English and Prussian lines met at Charleroi. He was to break the Prussian and British positions separately and with overwhelming force, and crush their reinforcements piecemeal as they arrived. He turned an army only half the size of their combined armies into a force ruling double, but his generals failed him. Marshal Ney's failure to quickly mobilize his army on the morning of June 16 provided the British defenders of Colonel Ross with desperately needed hours as the reinforcements came in from the northeast. Ney's additional rage-inspired campaign-destroying decision to command Erlon, who had originally been intended to reinforce Ney, but had moved to reinforce Napoleon at the Emperor's request, to return to him late in the evening, when, even with an additional 20,000 men, nothing more than a stalemate could be expected. Had those troops made it to Napoleon, Napoleon would have had the additional men needed to effectively flank and cut off a Prussian retreat in any direction other than away from Wellington. On the morning of June 17, General Grouchy was given arguably over to the order by Napoleon to take 30,000 men, roughly one-third of Napoleon's army, to pursue Blucher's army to find out where it was going and attempt to keep it from returning to Wellington. He failed in this task because he was already convinced that the Prussians had given up their campaign and would return to Berlin, while in fact the Prussian army was moving northeast, and southeast, and would turn west the following day in an attempt to meet up with Wellington. Grouchy's second failure was once he did finally find and pursue Blucher during the day of June 18th. While the Battle of Waterloo was raging in the west, he was intent upon his continued pursuit of Blucher, despite the fact he could hear the sounds of a battle. Had he moved towards the battle directly, Napoleon very well could have won. Ney's third major failure was his cavalry charge on Mont Saint-Jean during the Battle of Waterloo itself, which destroyed the French cavalry for the remainder of the battle. These major blunders ruined Napoleon's master race. Combined with bad weather and bad advice from the commander of artillery, which delayed the start of the battle nearly 6 hours, Napoleon was defeated at Waterloo. When Blucher arrived on his right flank, mere minutes before he had broken the British and obtained victory. Even then, despite all these setbacks, even though he won the battle and the campaign, Napoleon's strategy was not cause of his defeat at Waterloo, but his overconfidence in his general's sound judgment. And so, we have the Battle of Waterloo, the assault on Hougoumont, d'Erlon's march against the English left, Ney's charge, the capture of the Citadel farmhouse, La Haye Sainte, which would have secured a French victory had the Prussians not arrived soon after, and the last desperate advance of the Imperial Guard near Hougoumont, as the darkness of night and of the Prussian army arrived. The mountain musket reenactment of the Battle of Waterloo was divided into the 5 stages noted above. Particular results of each movement and the overall French victory clash with the history. but the general scheme and playing out of the battle is given in what is hopefully an enjoyable format.